Hello, everybody, and welcome to something I'm kind of thinking about what idea would be good, but conceptual carnivore. I think I might change it up, but I might keep it. As an English teacher, I like to have things that are catchy. But also, I think that we're going to talk about concepts in the carnivore diet because my carnivore biscuit video did pretty well. So, and I got it, of course, from Courtney Luna, I think. She's amazing. Follow her. She's fantastic. I mean, they really do work, and she has a cookbook. So I borrowed that idea because I miss biscuits like you wouldn't believe. Even though I'm Canadian, I still like them. But so I thought, and there are a few people that are interested in the fact that I do carnivore because it is still rare enough that people are like, what is it? And it's been great for me. I love it. And it's not the easiest thing to do, but it's better. Especially when you realize the stuff that's in the standard diet of Canadians. You know, there's a lot of stuff and then people go out of their way to make up stuff so you think you're eating healthy and you aren't eating healthy. Like I remember once, this was years ago, back in the whole low-fat craze, which hopefully isn't happening as much, because I used to really like Eggo waffles for lots of reasons. But there was supposed to be this healthy Eggo waffle, and I bought it, and it was god awful. It didn't even taste as good as the regular. So I'm like, why would I buy this? And so that can happen in the carnivore keto world too. And so I thought I'd make a quick video about that. You may or may not know there's a huge controversy going out on this electrolyte drink called LMNT, LMNT, LMNT. And of course, it's a play on words and everything too. But of course, we don't really have it in Canada very much. You have to actually order it off like an American website or something. But they have it. And there's a lot of keto influencers that really heavily push this, like heavily push it. I'm not sure exactly right now, but a lot of the people that I have watched in the keto YouTube community push LMNT, like so many of them. And then they make money off of it. And so it's like a lot. And they know that people are going to watch them because they trust them. So, yeah. So I don't want to name any names because, I don't know exactly where they are now since the scandal broke. But certainly plenty keto carnivore influencers. On the YouTube, I was like, you have to get LMNT. LMNT's amazing. You have to order it. And so people are ordering it, right? So I thought I would mention that. I also want to mention something else too that I've just learned on my keto carnivore journey. It started about 3 years ago because I was just a mess. Well, some might say I am as well, but I'm working on it today. But I mean, I was just sick as a dog. I had just moved again. I couldn't do anything. I could barely manage. I was working. I just got a new job and I loved it, but I was just so sick all the time. And I'd had brain injury as well, a couple times, concussions, whatever. And then what was she? She was some fancy person that I waited 8 months to see. I can't remember her name, neurological ophthalmologist or something like that, like some crazy specialty. She was an absolute jerk to me, but she did tell me that the keto diet might help. And then I was looking at other things, and I'm like, damn. So I was willing to give it a go. And then, so I did look into it because I knew nothing about it except that it was prescribed for epilepsy in kids, which apparently it worked very well for that. And of course, I saw the movie, I think it's called Do No Harm, with Meryl Streep. Oh my God, if you know anybody that has epilepsy or if you have kids, please watch this movie. It's for free on YouTube. And it will open your eyes to the epilepsy market and the terrible things that happen to people who don't know about the ketogenic diet. I mean, everybody knows now, hopefully, but seriously, watch this movie. It's very valuable, and it's Meryl Streep at her best, So that's good back in the day. So it was good. Anyway, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to try this, right? And so almost immediately I get, bombarded with all these keto products, right? We literally had a keto store in where I live, in British Columbia. So I'm like, dang, right on. So I go, and it's literally like this candy store. Like, I'm not kidding. They have candy in there, and cookies, and muffins and pancakes and weird sort of kind of cereal, like corn pops or Cheerios, but it's this weird keto version. All this flavored crap, like ice cream that isn't ice cream, and pizzas and cake and pie, and like and it's like a keto store, and you're like, that's weird. And so much stuff, and I bought all of it, which I shouldn't have, because I'm like, damn, okay, good, because I was making good money. Still am. But, and then I wasn't feeling good. And I'm like, that's weird. Why am I not feeling good? And then I find out that all this stuff is absolute crap, and it's just marketing, and you shouldn't be using it on the keto diet, because the keto diet by definition is like it's like a natural diet, and carnivore is even more natural. So like, you shouldn't be eating processed stuff, like, really, ever. The only thing I do, and I don't apologize for it, is I do eat these Atkins chocolate things, but they have like really no sugar in them at all. I can do maltitol, at least I can now, so I'm not too worried about it. And I don't eat very many. Like, that's like one. Like, think about how big a chocolate bar is, and what if you have more? So, but still, that's my choice. They put it on the label, I think, and Atkins is a reasonably trusted market, because the keto diet is the Atkins diet. So I think so. But I do that, but I don't do other things, really, that I don't think are good to do. And, the store actually closed, because I think not as many people were buying it as soon as they all found out that this is really not good for you. And you're literally doing the opposite of what you need to be doing for your brain. Because if you're doing it for brain health or epilepsy health, or, diabetes, or whatever other reason, maybe it's mental health, you need to do the real diet, not the internet keto, as one of the influencers talks about. So I would definitely watch the movie Fat Fiction. It's fabulous. Or even Fat and Fat 2. They're pretty good. So there's quite a few movies out there that really give you the skinny about the whole low-fat craze, and the whole seed oils and all of that. Like, really eye-opening, I think. But the newest one, the reason why I wanted to take to the airwaves, is LMNT. I don't take LMNT. We can't get LMNT, but I wanted to tell you in case somebody did see it and was wondering about it. It is an electrolyte mix. Since a lot of people have been doing keto and carnivore, your electrolytes can get messed up. They can get messed up anyway. Mine were, because I had pretty severe adrenal fatigue, which messes up your electrolytes, meaning that, your potassium and your sodium, all that stuff is really very, very important. Magnesium, it's what keeps you from being woozy, or or passing out, or having balance problems. Like, it's serious. So people who get very sick, that often have problems with that, so they often are woozy, or they often are sick. People with brain injuries sometimes can have that, because they don't metabolize things. I know I did. People with other kinds of problems, anxiety even, can affect it. It affects me, and all kinds of other stuff. Adrenal fatigue being one of the number one problems. You don't metabolize things, and maybe you don't metabolize vitamins or minerals very well. So I have been on quite a journey of healing that in myself. So again, it's sodium, magnesium, potassium, and they are all in a crazy, intricate, very complex balance, which normally works very well if your system works well, your body. But if it doesn't work well, oh my God, do you have problems? And again, people who consume a lot of carbs usually, they don't usually have a lot of electrolyte problems. They have other problems maybe, but because you tend to retain water, so that retains the salt, so you're not salt deficient usually, and they have other kinds of issues. It does bother a lot of people eventually, but in the short run it actually calms you down in the short run. But it's just you shouldn't really be taking it for the longer term, and I know that's what made me sick too. That it gives you all kinds of problems that just make a person, especially weed and things like that. But you may not know that at first. But anyway, it's helped me to be off of it. And so element is a replacer of electrolytes, right? It replaces it. And it has all these crazy good flavors like chocolate caramel and, peppermint. They come out with seasonal ones like pumpkin spice and but there is no free lunch. That is seriously, someone told me that and I just believe it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You just can't. It's just not something that's going to happen. And what does that mean to maybe people who are, just learning? It means that you can't have everything sometimes. You can't, if you are on a carnivore diet, it's no sugar. So you can't eat sugar necessarily. That's not going to help you be on the carnivore diet, right? Sometimes you have to just, actually do the diet the way it's supposed to be done and not try to find all these like shortcuts, like about stuff like that. So that's the important thing. But again, you have to make the diet work for you. I actually, like I said, use these sugar-free chocolates, just maybe one a day. That helps me. I'm okay with that. I make that choice and I know I'm doing it. But there are people who don't know, and that's the problem. LMNT has been found to have something called maltodextrin, which is a terrible thing for you. It's a sugar, but people act like it's not that bad, but it's really that bad. What's it? It's a starch, actually. It's made maybe of corn or other kinds of things. It's supposed to be a safe food additive, but it's really not. It's made out of corn or rice or potatoes, which are very high in carbs, and a lot of people are allergic to, and they don't sometimes even tell you. And wheat, and some people are terribly allergic to wheat, right? I'm terribly allergic to wheat. Like, it makes me super sick, right? And corn is not my friend. Corn is not a lot of people's friend. Corn is animal feed, really. That's what it ought to be. That's what it used to be. So it's terribly awful for you. And they said in these element packages, it's got like 4 milligrams or whatever, which is a really, really small amount, right? And the flavors were fantastic. And it was helping people, I think, stay on the carnivore diet or whatever, helping them with their because you can get really sick sometimes. You can get woozy. You can, I don't know if you actually would pass out, but you can feel really bad, if you can get dehydrated, all kinds of problems if you don't make sure that you have enough salt and, you have enough other things. You can have terrible panic attacks, if you don't have enough magnesium. So, you really got to do it. I take 2 magnesiums a day, and I also take vitamin D, which is very essential. And, so I'm doing, I think, good stuff for myself. And I take more salt than you can possibly imagine. It's really good salt, though. It's Himalayan salt, and I really like it. But you need to take a lot more than you think. And I could probably take more than I take. Put it in water, salt your food, whatever. You need to do that. You need salt. It's not true that you don't. Salt, you would die without it. Like, salt is it's very essence of your well-being in so many ways. And so if you don't know that, seriously, and magnesium, I have terrible anxiety. Magnesium just helps me so much. But these people have went and said that, oh, no, there's not really that much. We just, it's a flavor enhancer. No. Guess what just happened? They have put hundreds of times the amount of maltodextrin that they said they did. Hundreds of times, like not 4 grams, 400 grams. And some people might say that that's not still that big of a deal, right? It's still only a relatively small amount. But what about people who are allergic to corn? right? There's been stories about people who are sick with LMNT because they're allergic to corn, and they didn't mention it on the label. So you don't know. And it's almost illegal. I don't know if it's illegal in Canada, but I think it is. You can't put something that has one of the known allergens and then not tell people. That's why everywhere it's like may contain, because they don't want to get sued. Well, LMNT didn't do that. They did not do that. So people are getting sick because there's wheat in it or corn in it or rice in it. And there's so much more than everybody had any idea about. And that is just horrifying. That is shocking and awful and a breach of goodness and everything. Like, my God. And not only that, then they get these people who everybody looks at, all these keto people, all the keto doctors and the keto teachers, to peddle this stuff for them because they know that people will buy it because the person's saying, hey, this person thinks it's awesome. Well, I mean, who wouldn't do that, right? Because you think you can trust these people. You cannot trust these people. And that's why I wanted to make a video, although probably in Canada it's not as big of an issue. And now they're coming around saying that it's not their fault, that it's their manufacturer. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't believe that for 1 second. I think you knew it, and you knew that people liked the flavor, and you knew that people were going to get addicted because, by the way, maltodextrin is addictive because it's got a higher glycemic index than sugar, so that makes it spike your blood sugar higher than sugar does. You might as well drink a Coke. You'd be doing yourself a better job. And Coke is not half as much money because they're like $1 for one package. And that's American. So if you buy Canadian, then that's more than that. It's like maybe $1.50 or $1.25, or I don't know, considering the shipping too and all that. So it's crazy expensive. And, and you think you're helping yourself, and you are not helping yourself. You are being injured at the very time when you're trying to be helping. You're trying to make yourself feel better. So had to put it out there. Just wanted everybody to know. If maltodextrin isn't a problem for you, by all means, keep using it because it's, if it helps you. But it's just the thing that made me so upset, that the awful thing is that they didn't even tell people that they were, the people who had been allergic to it. They didn't even say anything. And these poor people didn't even know that that's what they were taking. And then, hopefully the people now who were advertising it are going to come back and apologize to people. But I guess we'll see, right, if that's it. So that's what I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about that. And hope everybody's doing all right on their journey. And definitely send me some comments about what you think about it. Okay, everybody. Bye-bye.